Hi, my name is Enrique.
Hi, my name's Laina.
And this is our love story. We've been dating for 6 months, engaged for 3. But we've known each other for 3.5 years in total. You can literally say I'm marrying my best friend.
Me too.
The way we met was through a mutual friend, Cynthia. Do you want to...
I used to work at Heart Hospital, and Cynthia was one of my coworkers. And one day she calls me into the little registration area and goes, I have somebody I want to introduce you to. And she talked me into meeting him at the Target at the mall and the Starbucks there. She had to do some other stuff in the mall, and she's like, I'll just go and then I'll come back.
So that day at Target at the mall, I'm waiting for them, and all of a sudden they walk in, and I see Laina in all her glory there. And for me, it was like the heavens opened up, and it's just like this song, I just died in your arms, just like started playing in my head. And like there was just this glow of light. I mean, it could have been just the glare of the window from the Target, but I mean, who's to know? And I'm just like, that girl is special. She's someone, and I had to have her in my life one way or another. So we went on a couple of dates. Well, 2 dates if you ask me, 1 date if you ask her. And
one was more like a hangout.
I say it was a date. Anyway, after that, she just told me that she wanted more to be friends. She wasn't really ready for a relationship, and I said, okay. I mean, I wanted her in my life one way or another, and then we progressively got closer and closer and just became beasties at that point. So
we are Disney fanatics, and that's a Maleficent reference for those of you that are Disney fanatics.
Yeah, so it was like a bestie, but we're beasties, and that's how we just kind of flipped that word to fit us, you know, in our unique way. One of my best memories of us dating was actually that very first date. You know, it was the Condors game, and I was so nervous that day. I was super hungry. I was starving because she hit me up like out of nowhere. And I'm in Bakersfield with my cousin because she had a doctor's appointment, had to come back to Delano to change, get ready, and then go meet her back. And I kept asking her, like, do you want to go out to dinner? She said, no, I'm not hungry. And I said, really? I mean, okay. And so I let it go. After the game, do you want to go eat? No, I'll take you out to dinner, my treat. No, I'm not hungry. So I went home hungry that day, and she just went home, and, you know, everything was fine. But what's yours?
My favorite is shortly after we became official boyfriend and girlfriend, it was the holidays. And so we had our first Thanksgiving and Christmas together as a new couple. Shortly after we made it official, and spending time with his family, and I believe him spending time with my family, it was some of the best times we had. And, you know, of course, with anything, there were stories that came out, and we learned things about each other. And it was fun, you know, figuring out, oh, what are we going to bring to this house? What are we going to bring to that house for dinner, you know? And our families really did.
Yeah,
it did make it fun.
It made it fun. It made it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, 3 months later, after us making it official, I went ahead and proposed, and that's a story to tell.
You gotta tell him. He decides he's gonna make me mad the day he proposed.
Not on purpose. So we had planned out a dinner with some of her friends, and I had thought about, okay, I'm going to propose on this day. But I had this day and that day and this day and that day to propose. I was going to propose at Disney, and said, no, that's too far. I was going to propose at the beach. I said, no, that's too corny. And I'm just like, all these are different places. But this particular day, it was February 25th. And I called into work because we went to an estate sale with her parents, and it was just an amazing day there as it was.
It was in Tehachapi, and it had snowed recently.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a lot of snow, but it was enough to have snowball fights. And one of my favorite parts of that day is I'm walking back into one of the buildings to get my mom, and I turn around and I see my dad grab some snow, and he gets this grin on his face, and I think he's going to toss it at me. He ends up tossing it at him. And then they start a little bitty snowball fight. It was hilarious, but it was perfect.
So that night, she's getting ready and we're going to go out to dinner with her friends. And the way she came out of the room, just looking as beautiful as she did, I was like, oh no, that's what she needs to look like. That's the look I'm going for when I propose. So I was like, hey, sweetie, that day I had to pick up my dad's medication too. I was like, my dad needs the medicine tonight, like right now. He's out of it. Do you mind if I just drive back to Delano, which is about 30 miles from, Bakersfield? And she just went into nurse mode and got super pissed off.
So I am really particular, like, with anybody, if you are, quote, running out of your medicine, you should have a supply enough to get you through till that comes in. So, yes, I was frustrated. You should know better than that.
I know. So I'm driving like a bat out of hell from Bakersfield to Delano, and I went to and from in like 45 minutes, no joke. All on the way, I'm texting my mom, hey, I have the ring over here, and I forgot some of my tank tops. Can you just like kind of hide it in there and give it to me? And so grabbed the ring, dropped off the medicine, came back, and the whole time she's like yelling, she's frustrated, she's just like not having it. She's super mad at me. And I kept telling her, it'll be worth it, don't worry, it's fine, like you'll be okay. Sure enough, when we get there, even that's not going right. Like our table all of a sudden was ready, and I'm like, no, I want to take pictures near the fountain. And then one of her friend's kids was like, oh, let's take a picture. And I'm like, buddy, me first. Like, so I kind of had to take him down.
He was so cute too.
He was adorable, but I was like, not right now, beat a kid. Like, so at that moment, I'm like, hey, remember I said, it'd all be worth it? And that's when I brought out the ring, got on one knee and asked her, and took her a while to say yes, but she said yes.
I didn't realize I would be that type of person, but I started crying and I couldn't even talk. My yes was actually a nod at first because I couldn't even talk. I was in shock and I started crying and it was perfect.
Yeah, and now, we're both excited about the wedding. It's coming up next year of November 2023. And we're way ahead of the game, and we have a lot of great things pinned down, like the venue, the church, DJ, caterer, and
though we may sound traditional, we have a theme that everybody's always surprised about. It is Disney, but it's Disney villains, because the older we get, the more we relate to the villains rather than the princes and the princesses. So we're doing a villain theme, which is cool.
It's definitely going to be
and
fun.
unique, to us.
Yeah, so the color scheme was going to fit everything Disney villain, and just kind of the look and the aesthetic what we're going for is going to be, kind of darker than what it normally would be for a Disney theme.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, all together, like the way I would define our love is just hard work, communication, partnership, me dealing with, her crazy every day, but she's my crazy, and that's fine. So
well, and he's mine, but I'd also define it as friendship.
Yeah.
And a love that grew, over time to the best thing ever.
Yeah, definitely has been. But anyway, that is
our love story.